The water to feed the sky hydrant should come from a head tank above the sky hydrant. It's not always possible to fill this tank from a gravity or pressure system, and sometimes you have to use a pump, but you should never pump directly into the sky hydrant. Here are just some of the different types of pumps that can be used with the sky hydrant. Although many of the pumps look different, the heart of the pump is a centrifugal pump, which is best for pumping unfiltered water. The following video explains how they work.
A centrifugal pump consists of a rotating impeller mounted on a shaft inside a stationary casing. An electric motor, or some other driver, is used to rotate the impeller at a high speed. As the impeller rotates, centrifugal force pushes liquid outward from the center, or eye, of the impeller. This increases the liquid velocity and creates a low-pressure zone at the eye of the impeller, which allows more liquid to flow into the pump through the suction inlet.
Probably the easiest and low-cost pump solution is a submersible pump, which can just be placed in the water, switched on, and will start to pump. The following video explains a little bit more.
This is a submersible pump about the size that you would need for a sky hydrant. Basically, there is the actual pump mechanism at the bottom and a sealed electric motor at the top, and then the outlet to which you connect the pipe leading up to the head tank. Some of these pumps have a float on the top of the pump. This is to stop the pump pumping dry, but for most applications the best thing is to use a cable tie to keep the pump upright so the pump will not fail. The pump takes in the water from the bottom, so you have to be careful that it doesn't sit on a muddy bottom and suck mud up into the sky hydrant head tank. One way to keep mud from getting into the sky hydrant is to install a plastic barrel with holes drilled through it and concrete or bricks holding it in place. You can then lower the pump direct into this.
Another type of submersible pump is these specialist borehole pumps. These can be very expensive depending on the size of the borehole and the depth of the borehole. Costs range from several $100s to over $1,000. Transfer pumps like this one are fairly easy to find and a reasonable cost. However, it requires a lot more infrastructure, such as hard suction pipes and foot valves, if the source water is below the pump. If you need to locate the pump above the water level, a good option is a self-priming pump. If an electrical supply is unavailable, a diesel or petrol pump may be considered. However, these do require a lot of operator attendance to keep switching the pump on and off as the head tank fills and empties. In remote locations, solar pumps may be an option. However, they can be very expensive and you need to allow large storage volumes for cloudy days and water supply overnight. One unusual type of pump that can sometimes be available in developing countries is the hydraulic ram pump. This uses the flow of water in a river to drive a small amount of water up a hill. If you find one of these pumps and you want to know more information, please contact Disaster Aid. It's much better to run pumps once or twice an hour for a few minutes rather than keep switching on and off every minute or two. This can only be achieved if the head tank is large enough.
This is the simplest method of pump control. We have a pump here on the right that pumps up to the head tank. The head tank then overflows down to the outlet on the left of the picture. One advantage of this system is that it aerates the water that's eventually going to go up and through the sky hydrant. A disadvantage is the pump needs to run all the time. Here you can see the pump inlet pipe on the right of the tank and the pump overflow on the left. This is a very basic pump control setup, which is a float switch. Basically, it comprises of a float, and this float switches on when it hangs vertically, and as it floats up, the switch activates and it switches off. The float is on a long cable and comes with a weight to adjust the position of switching. To set the float, you lower the float into the tank till it is just above the sky hydrant outlet and well above the head tank drain. You then adjust the weight by putting a cable tie or a small clamp on the cable, so that as the float rises, the switch activates before it gets to the top water level. Once you've set this, you can mark the cable and install the float inside the tank. I hope you found this short video useful. If you require any more training or advice, please contact us at Disaster Aid Australia.